Boom! It's a good day for Claude users, guys, because Higgsfield recently launched their MCP with Claude, okay? And if you have no idea what that is, this video is going to be perfect for you, okay? But my first initial impression is that this entire connection is designed to burn your credits, all right? But it is certainly going to help us fast-track our entire AI creation process with Higgsfield, okay? So in this video, I'm essentially going to cover and explain why I say it's designed to burn your credits. I'll talk about how to connect your Higgsfield to your cloud. And by the way, this works for both paid and free plan, which is great news because non-Claude users can definitely give it a go at no cost, okay? There's just some limitations. And the second thing that I'll talk about, very, very important connector permission settings. If you truly want to improve your efficiency and make sure that you save as much credit as possible, you definitely want to pay attention to that. And third, I'll kind of walk you guys through 3 different demo situations of how I will personally use it using the image and video creation. And I'll talk about post creations for emails and stuff like that. And I'll also talk about banner design demo, okay? And most importantly, I will explain why I will most likely not use this for any kind of video generation, okay? And if you comment the word skills, I've actually designed and created a 15 set of instructions and skills that you can quickly deploy to really save your time as well as money or credits when it comes to using this, because honestly guys, it feels like the way that it's set up right now is designed to burn your credits, okay? That said, before we dive in, my name is Alwi Batarilan and I am the owner, founder, creator of AI Authority Engine, where I essentially teach you how to build hyper-realistic AI twins or avatars and generate massive attention and turn that attention into income, all right? So first things first, we want to talk about what is an MCP and why is it so important to understand what this is right now, okay? Now, MCP essentially is defined as Model Context Protocol, and all you need to think about, guys, is just think of it as a universal plug for AI. It's that connector that lets these 2 or 3 different platforms integrate and connect, okay? So it lets AI connect to everyday tools and APIs through one common system, okay? And the reason why this exists and why it's important to know about it now is because, as you guys know by now, it's such an overwhelming experience using multiple different tools in different platforms. So an MCP essentially allows you to use that specific tool inside an LLM that you're already currently using, okay? So first things first, let's talk about connecting Higgsfield to Claude, right? So inside your Higgsfield account, you just want to navigate over to MCP and CLI, give that a click. And once you're in here, guys, because it's going to be MCP based, we want to click on MCP. And once that's done, it basically already gives you the 3 steps that you need. But all we need to do here is just click on this and copy. Okay, and to demonstrate this for you guys, I'm actually going to be using a new account because I've set this up already. And the reason why I say that this also works for new accounts is because in the free Claude plan, you are actually allowed to do MCP integration. So it's great. You can give it a go. Okay, so once you actually have your account, all you need to do, guys, is just hover over to settings right here. We're going to click on that and you can see connectors. Click on connectors. And right here, we want to click on Add Custom Connector, okay? So the link that we copied just now, we're just going to paste it in here. And we can call it whatever we like, but we can just say Higgsfield, okay? And just hit on Add. So once that's visible right there, you just want to click on Connect. And what it will do is it will prompt you to connect to your Higgsfield account. So I'm just going to switch from my free account to my actual paid account. So that's right here. And the number 2 that we want to do is the important connector permission setting. And trust me, you guys definitely want to set this up. Otherwise, it's going to not only slow you down. So you just want to hover over to settings. Okay, so once you're there, go back to connector, click on configure, okay? Now, I went through every single setting, guys. You can essentially go through one by one, but the most important ones to leave it right here where it needs approval is generate image and generate video. The reason for this is because if you don't set this up, they will keep on just generating without your approval, even if the prompts are a mistake, okay? So you know that's the fastest way to burn your credits. So only these 2 is what I put needs approval, so at least I can review every single generation before they actually start, okay? As for the rest, honestly, I just leave them always on because it's just much faster and there's nothing that is personal or usage of credits, okay, guys? So that's very important. And now, let's talk about the demo, right? So I'm going to walk you guys through the Higgsfield Soul image and video demo. So essentially what I've done is I've already saved this skill for myself, all 15 instructions. So this is going to be as efficient as possible, because when I was testing this the first time, guys, I'll be honest, it was literally burning my credits like crazy and I kept forgetting a lot of stuff. So let's see how it performs in action. So first, let me put this in full screen. So since this is image generation, first thing we need to do is we need to specifically tell them every little detail, okay? So that's one downside. But if you use my 15 skills, it should prompt you, so it makes sure that you never forget any detail, all right? So first things first, we have to say, use my Higgsfield connector and generate me an image using my Higgsfield Soul character. Okay, so let's just see what just happens here. I'll walk you guys through the entire process. Okay, so it's reading the MCP skill first. Okay, great. So these are some of the things that I've essentially embedded, because otherwise it will just do a lot of stuff. So let me just see, do you have a reference image? See, it's good. No reference image. Okay, so then here, because of the in skill, it's asking me what length would I want. Because when I tested the first time, it was giving me like images that were so far away. So let's just say close-up chest. And then what's the aspect ratio? Because if you use it without the skill, they will randomize what the ratio is unless you specify. So that's the most important key takeout right now. If you use it without my skills, you must make sure you specify what model, what aspect ratio, what kind of setting you like. Okay, so in this case, let's do 9:16. So this is why I created the skill, even though it took me many hours to put them together. Okay, so let's just take a look. And then now it's asking me for the vibe, because I want to be able to be in control. If you don't have the skill, it will randomize whatever the vibe might be, okay? So let's just go through the process. Perfect. And then now, it's essentially giving me 3 options to choose from, so I can save credits. Because without the skill, again, guys, it's just going to randomize the entire process, and you don't get to control what actually happens. So let's go, and even recommendation. Okay, let's do C, right? So the reason why we want to have these kind of initial steps is just to make sure that whatever, before they start generating, they will essentially create something that we want. And here, Higgsfield, the default connector doesn't tell you what's your previous credits or your credits after generation. So the reason why I add it in here is because this is going to help me know how much credits am I actually using, okay? So in this case, the prompt was to get them to use my Higgsfield Soul character. If you're not familiar with what a Soul character is, it's the best and fastest way to basically create a clone of yourself and generate any image. So in my case, I'll use this one. Okay, give me a second. Yep, that's perfectly fine. And I will hit enter, so they know which model to essentially use it with, okay? There you go. So right now, just like that, I didn't log into Higgsfield. It's using the Soul character that I want based on the image prompt that I want them to do, okay? And inside this skill, essentially, I've also embedded a realism into the prompts, as well as a top 1% expert when it comes to prompt creation. Because the default on Claude is so basic. They basically just have, I don't know, 1 or 2 lines, okay? So bam, there you go, guys. Not bad at all, okay? So not bad, a little bit chubby in that image, but because my training image are all a bit chubbier. So let's see. So it's rendering now, widget above, okay? Perfect. They're asking us if we want to tweak it, change the vibe, go closer. So for the sake of testing, let's just say change outfit style to a luxury suit. Okay, let's just see what happens. And this is why it's very good for efficiency, because as you guys can see, I'm not inside my account, but you will notice that whatever image we're generating, it is synced, it's connected, and it will be into your account. There you go, right? So this is the one that we did directly in Claude. And this is good because for most of us, like me, my usage is I do a lot of image generations for posts, right? And most of those posts are usually written on Claude. And by the way, that's the only reason why I use Claude, because everyone would tell you that Claude is potentially the best when it comes to writing, right? So here we go, a second one, not too bad at all. Rendering now. Okay, so this is good. This is good. Right. Now I want to animate it. Okay. So you're essentially chatting with Claude, telling it exactly what you want to do, okay? And the first time I tried this, it basically just went ahead and generated into a random aspect ratio. It chose the most expensive module. So now, with my skill, here, it's giving me options, okay? Because by default, Claude's MCP is going to pull the highest quality, but the most expensive, and I believe it was Seedance by default, okay? For me, personally, I use Kling 3.0 because it's good enough and it's cost-effective, okay? But for this purpose, let's just try a Seedance, all right? And then they don't even ask you for duration. They will go randomly, okay? So this is actually all of the skills that I have embedded so that it's constantly checking with me, what do we want? Because the downside about this, unlike doing it direct onto the platform, you get to select everything. But inside Claude, you don't get to select anything. The AI will just guess what it would be, okay? So again, if you guys want this skill document to make sure that you guys save your credits and get the output that you want, just comment skills down below and I'll send it to you, okay? So in this case, let's just say 6 seconds. Right? And also motion intensity is something that I embedded, like how much body movements and stuff like that. Let's just say dramatic and see what happens, all right? And it's actually going to tell me my balance first. And the reason why I put it there is so I know how much is it actually going to cost me, okay? So earlier, we did the pre-settings. So if we did not allow most of them, we will continuously need to click this. You can always allow or allow once. So this one is for which one? Claude wants to use generate. Nope. Don't click on always allow. Allow once. Okay. The reason for that is because we want to make sure that before they generate, they always check with us first if it's approved and if they are ready to be generated. Because Seedance, for example, I'm pretty sure is going to cost me at the minimum 6 seconds, maybe about 40 credits. So if we're not approving every single generation and we let Claude decide, we might be burning credits without even realizing it. And that's exactly why all the little details that I said is designed to burn your credits, guys. Okay, they don't tell you how much it costs. They don't ask for your permission or clarify aspect ratio and stuff like that. So because of that, it's going to continuously just assume what you would actually want, all right? So that's why I created the skill to make sure that we are clear and aligned on every single thing. Because I'll give you an example. I actually forgot to attach my image and ask it to generate a Seedance 2.0 video, and only realizing later that I wasn't prompted to even insert the image in the first place. So just like that, I burned 40 or 60 credits, okay? So let's just take a look. Right now, it's rendering. It does take about the same time as if you were to do it on the platform. And whatever it is that you are generating, while that's generating, is going to show into your assets, right? And you can even see the professional prompts it used. And again, it's taking from the skill. Claude does have a default prompt enhancer, but it's usually about 2 to 3 lines. But in my case, I gave it a full-on professional prompt, so you can see like hyperrealism, the details, the scenes, and things like that, okay, which will essentially help you. Now, let's go back and take a look. It looks like our Seedance video is done. What is the prompt that they use? Visionary, digital entrepreneur, luxury tailor suit. Okay, let's just play it and see what happens. Not bad. Oh, boom. Beautiful, guys. And what did I say? I didn't even give it much instructions. I just said, just animate this video, and I pick a specific style because of the skill, right? It is amazing, guys. Now, the bad thing about the preview here is we cannot really see it in full screen. So that is a bit annoying. But that said, if you really wanted to, you just need to refresh your assets section and you will find it over here, and you can definitely watch it in full screen. Pretty damn good, right? And that's why Seedance is currently the best. It's a bit expensive, and as you can see, so they don't by default tell us how much will it cost. So I programmed it to have the balance before and balance after, right? So 3431 is after, 3485. So you can see, guys, that's what, almost 40 plus credits on Seedance and expected, okay? So that's essentially the video demonstration of how I would use Higgsfield Soul, image as well as video. Now, the second application on how I would use this, guys, is because I use Claude, and I'm sure almost everybody using Claude is using it for writing purposes, right? So technically speaking, I'm just going to pull a demo post that I made, and I'm going to show you guys this, okay? So I'm just looking at my Facebook page. So technically, another way that we can use this is basically, let's just say you're using Claude to help you write your post or your content or your email newsletter, whatever it might be, right? First things first, this is my actual post. Please use Higgsfield MCP connector or anything. Help me create an image using my soul character that best fits this post, okay? For Facebook. Okay, normally I would ask for post ideas, what to write about, and then once you're happy with it, technically you can just say, hey, tap into my Higgsfield connector, please generate me an image that is highly relevant to this, right? So let's just see what happens here. Okay, so this post is about AI-generated content. The same thing again, it's asking me to choose which one exactly, right? So this example is all about me using a Higgsfield Soul. It tells me my balance before and it will tell me my balance after, okay? So basically, again, 3 options. What is a good one? So let's just pick any random one here, okay? So let me just delete this. Okay, so also need to confirm which one do we want. Let's do B, let's do 9:16, and let's do close up this time, okay? So this is ways that you can essentially fast track your creation process, because like me, on my Facebook, I write a lot of posts, guys, and I usually need image to support. So now we can essentially just basically do the planning, the writing, everything within Claude itself and never leave it and actually just ask it directly inside Claude to say, hey, propose the 3 best possible images that we can use for this, okay? So as you can see, it's already working and it's essentially already creating the image, okay? So let's just give that a minute to see what's happening, right? And while that's happening, guys, I will also share with you guys how I created this banner. Honestly, guys, I used Claude to tell it exactly what I want, okay? And I got Claude at that time before NCP to say, this is my brand color, this is the kind of fonts that I like, this is the things that I want to say. So then I said, hey, give me a professional prompt that I can use on Higgsfield. Then what I had to do was take that prompt, go into Higgsfield, generate it, right? But now we can essentially do it within Claude itself, and I'll show you guys a quick demonstration because there is a limitation, okay? So let's just take a look. All right, perfect. So we have this. So this is what it's essentially saying to recommend. If I'm not happy with it, I can always change it up and ask for more options, all right? Okay, now let's just take a look at the last one, which is essentially the banner design demo, okay? So in this case, right, I had a chat, and this was before I created the skill, okay? So I basically say I want to design a premium looking About Us key visual for my AI Authority Engine school community using my brand guidelines. Please search my chat memory on exactly what we can call out. Okay, because I wanted to see, it dig all my files and it gave me this data point, which I looked at it and say, yep, pretty accurate. And thereafter, I said, okay, please create me something that best represents this in the technology space. And before my skills, again, I had to spell out, use Nana Banana Pro, 4K, generate 4 different options split between an AI twin and an AI clone, okay? So this is the images that it gave me, which was actually not bad right out of the gate, okay? The only problem was, it was from a random person, okay? But I was testing it out and I said, this time, I said, can you get it to use these 2 images, which is essentially a clone of myself and my actual real avatar? Because I wanted to see if we can just attach an image here and whether they can sync it onto a Higgsfield. The problem is they couldn't, okay? So it basically will tell us that, hey, when you attach image here, you need to actually save the UUID, which you can actually find, right? So basically, you cannot attach it right into the chat. What you need is to firstly have the image in here, and then go into your assets, click on the image itself, and this last digits right here, right, is your UUID. Okay, that's how they will know, use this specific image. So what I did was a lazy way. I just copied the entire thing and I pasted it in. See, I wasn't even sure where to find it, right? So there you go. I've said, okay, for AI twin, this is the ID. For AI avatar, this is the URL, okay? Once they have it, they were able to, boom, create beautiful visuals, okay? And again, guys, just for context, Claude already knows my buyer blueprint, right? They already know the font, the color, the style that I like. So the chances of them creating something good looks great. But look at that, guys, okay? And this is exactly why I said earlier that we can essentially efficientize our time, especially if you're a Claude user already writing, strategizing, and planning, because once you're done with like the post, the visual design, what to say, you can literally design your visuals. Look at this, looks pretty damn good, right? So pretty amazing, okay? Now, that's essentially the 3 demonstration of how I'll use it. Now, to quickly explain why I will most likely not use this for video generation is because, honestly, guys, I feel that for video generation, the credits cost is very, very high. So you want to be very, very careful, okay? Maybe I will use it now since I've created the 15 skills or a custom skill for Claude. But honestly, if you don't have this with you, please just probably use it directly on Higgsfield itself, because that is going to be the fastest way you can burn credits if you do not control the entire process. The only exception to doing video generation inside of Claude MCP is fundamentally making sure that you define everything. Okay, guys? So once again, if you want this, right, I gave you guys every single little detail, including of instruction of how to set this up. Just comment sales. But that said, that's pretty much it. Let's go.